A long time ago, when the Actors Union was still a closed shop, one of the ways that young performers gained their equity card was by working in children's theatre. They did the required number of weeks to get their membership and then moved on to the real goal, acting in plays for adults. But children's theatre is not a means to an end. Increasing numbers of companies, from theaterites to Catherine Wheels, have proved that work made for children can be as innovative, finely crafted and layered as shows for adults. Often more so, because unlike polite adult audiences, children let you know if you are boring them or being self-indulgent. Unless, of course, their parents keep shushing them because they reckon culture is a kind of medicine and so all theatre will do their kids good. It won't if it's bad theatre. Gentle interaction, Snigel and Friends. Photograph Amy Sinead Photography. Both the best and the worst family theatre can be found on the Edinburgh Fringe in August. 20 years ago there was almost no theatre for children during the festival, but it now boasts an increasingly large section in the programme. Shows for babies are a particular growth area. At Dance Space, we meet Smiley Snail Snigel munching leaves from a miniature washing line in Caroline Bowditch's show Snigel and Friends. This is beautifully pitched for the under-owns, those who are still immobile or can barely toddle, as well as their worn-out carers. It offers a beautifully designed but not too stimulating environment and the gentlest interaction with a snail, bee and grasshopper in which we get to play with eggs and floaty material. This exhausted theatre critic felt revived by it. Scottish Opera's Bambino, an opera experience for those under 18 months, has received lots of praise. Liam Patterson's score for soprano and baritone is a pleasure, and there is fun to be reaped from its story of a mother bird hatching a giant egg and tending to the fledgling in the nest until he is ready to fly away. But the aping of the conventions of opera, including a mock interval, about which babies are entirely unfamiliar, remain an in-joke for the adults, not the children. The babies get to sit in the nest area, but toddlers must perch with parents on chairs, where they have their view badly obstructed because too much of the action happens on the floor. The production now moves to Glasgow, where perhaps the site problems will be addressed. It only served half its audience in Edinburgh. In Eton, at Summerhall, Lionel McLean has just polished off performer Mamoru Iraguchi for lunch, and the actor addresses us from inside the lion's stomach. The show might be described as a philosophical, non-musical version of Circle of Life from The Lion King, examining the food chain in an eat-a-beaten world. There are plenty of poo jokes along the way. While adults may guffaw at the concept, I'm not convinced that 8-year-olds get the joke. A philosophical Lion King, Eton, at Summerhall. Photograph Manuel Vasson. Goblin Theatre's Peter and the Wolf, which relocates the folktale to a camping trip, is so confusing, poorly put together and acted. One character is almost incomprehensible behind a giant moustache. It proves that a familiar title doesn't guarantee a winner. The duck fashioned from a kettle is a pleasure, but this show sells the company and audiences short. The Wardrobe Ensemble have a hit in Edinburgh with Education for grown-up audiences. Their family show, The Star Seekers, which turns Pleasance Dome into a space station from where we travel across the galaxy, has a makeshift charm. It also boasts as much improvisational elan as showstoppers and more genuine interaction with the audience than most shows on the Fringe. There is also enormous fun to be had in the endearingly eccentric Me and My Bee, in which a bossy Josie Dallahoe and some friends set out to save the bees in the world by founding a political party. It may look daffy, but it's smartly put together and its knowingness is part of its charm. Even more fun is The Polar Bears Go Up, a supreme piece of silent clowning from Fish and Game that's aimed at 2 to 5-year-olds. The mix of consummate storytelling and visual invention that comes wrapped in a deliciously matter-of-fact sense of the surreal make this story of a lost balloon that has to be retrieved from the sky a winner for all ages. My 20-month-old grandson, Hector, loved it so much he demanded to go again the next day, and did. I wish I could have gone with him.